Okay guys, so a few months back I asked you all to send me some questions for a Q&A. Well, today's the day. I am in Southern Carolina right now with my family. Today is my last day on Hilton Head Island. And it was such a nice day out, I decided, you know what, let's do the Q&A right here, right now. If you missed a chance to leave me some questions, don't worry. I'm gonna do one as soon as I reach 100,000 subscribers, which should be any minute now. Anyways, let's get on with it. Aaron Explorers from YouTube asks, probably the toughest, most generic question you could get asked, but which country would you like to travel to next? You know what, for me, it's gotta be Mexico. I've really been fascinated by Mexico and Mexican culture over the past few months, and I've been saving up some money to go, and honestly, I think 2020 is the year. Mike Hallman from YouTube asks, what are some things that you could do to save money while traveling? When you go to a new place, what is your research process, and when are you coming back to Knoxville? Hey Mike. So while traveling, one of the things that I do to save money is by just eating at local food markets, food cafeterias, maybe even supermarkets if they have like a food court. That really cuts down on a lot of the costs of going out to eat and sitting in a fancy square kind of a restaurant environment where you pay 30 euros for one person's meal. You know, oftentimes I stay in hostels and Airbnbs and I really only pay 20, maybe 30 dollars, euros a night to stay there, and even if the hostel has like a food option, I'll always take it because oftentimes it's only like 5 or 6 extra euros on top of that. And I really try to get low-cost flights. I'm not like a budget traveler by any means, but really I try to cut down on my costs wherever I can. As far as my research process, I really just scour the internet. I go to Wikipedia, I watch a couple of YouTube videos, see what other people are doing when they travel to these places, and I just kind of take notes, maybe mental notes. Maybe in my iPhone I have this little notes app and I keep track of what I want to see. As far as returning to Knoxville, Mike, I was just there a couple weeks ago. Didn't you remember? Yaku Yaku Chichi 971 asks, how do you afford to travel so much? And how would you recommend aspiring travelers save up to travel? Well, I live at home with my family, so a lot of my expenses on room and board are kind of non-existent. I mean, I help out my parents whenever I can. But I also work at a part-time job at a restaurant, so I save money by really not going out to eat as much. I don't really go out to drink. I try to visit budget travel locations, so I really don't have a lot of expenses there, and my camera gear is several years old. I mean, I do buy new cameras every now and then, but honestly, I am pretty thrifty and budget conscious whenever I do pretty much anything in my life, so really I'm already saving a lot of money. You know, that kind of goes hand in hand with the next question about how to save money for somebody to be able to travel. And you know what, honestly, just don't go out, don't spend your money on unnecessary things, don't get a new iPhone every year, and if you can, live with roommates or family and you'll really be able to cut down on the costs. From YouTube, Dima Tretiak, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. He asks, what's your craziest experience abroad? You know what, I saw that question a while ago and I kept trying to think of a crazy experience that I've had. My time in Colombia was a really interesting experience and I really enjoyed my time. I'm actually thinking about making a video about my time in Colombia, which I spent about 5 days there back in 2017. There was a couple interesting moments. Leave me a comment below if you want to see me make a video about my time there. From YouTube, Claude Glover asks, would you consider giving more attention to off the beaten path places, communities, and cultures? And when will you show us a skiing trip in Ukraine? Claude, yes, that's really all I'm about. I really want to see more off the beaten path places. I want to see places that people haven't really been to. I want to see places that are kind of forgotten. And I really want to get away from the mass of tourists that you really see when you go to places like Paris, London, France. As far as a skiing trip in Ukraine, I'd like to go eventually. I just don't know when I'll be able to, but I don't know, maybe one day. From YouTube, Glui Biglich, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, asks, hello, I was just wondering, have you ever been to Turkey or do you have a plan to travel there? You know what, I haven't been to Turkey and I would like to travel to Turkey at one point. I do want to see Cappadocia, I want to see all the islands off the coast, and I want to go to Istanbul, but haven't really had any concrete plans or time to go, but maybe one day. From Facebook, Krista Zagar asks, I've heard Columbus, Ohio is a great city. Is there a reason you haven't been there yet? As a travel blogger, I'd love to see you get out to explore and film your time there. You know what, Krista? I think 2020 is the year that I'm gonna go to Columbus. I've heard a lot of great places, and I have a friend that moved down there very recently, and she just won't stop talking about it. So I think it's about time to visit her. From YouTube, ETF0101ZHN asks, any exotic trips planned for Asia? Well, you know what, ETF? Yes. For 2020, my goal is to visit Asia. I want to go to Vietnam. I want to visit Cambodia. I think this will happen sometime in the fall, but I'm not sure. We still have to plan it. We're in the early stages of talking through it with our friends, but yes, I do have plans for Asia. From Instagram, Kelsey Ponce asks, how do you stay safe while traveling abroad? You know what, that's a good question, and as a travel blogger, I think I cause the most attraction whenever I visit a place. I'm walking around with a huge camera, I have a drone up in the air, I have another camera over there getting a time lapse, but you know what, I just try to stay safe, I stay smart. I wear, tight-fitting jeans where my wallet is, in my front pocket. I don't try to wear anything too flashy. And at the same time, if I'm visiting a really rough, dangerous place, I'll have like a dummy wallet in my front pocket in case I actually do get knocked off, and I just give them the dummy wallet and I keep my real one in my backpack. But really just have to stay safe wherever you are. From YouTube, Alexander Kovacevic asks, what's your take on electric cars? Well, Alexander, I would love to own one at one point, but it's very expensive. A Tesla would be great. Maybe, in about 10 years when I start making the real money on YouTube, then I'll be able to afford one. But, who knows? Teslas are great. They're really good for the environment. They're not really that long distance worthy, but at the same time, I think it's a good option, especially if you live in a city or a place where you don't really travel that much. Tesla, if you're listening, I'm open to any kind of partnership. From YouTube, The Beg Family Antics asks, how would you film clips with a view to sell them to a stock library without upsetting your travel vlog viewers? Well, The Beg Family, I think if you film them to kind of sell them to a stock library and you do travel vlogs, you really won't upset them. As long as you stick to, basic composition rules, and if you have a good, smooth hand movement. When I film my B-roll, I try to make it smooth, kind of tilt the camera at the same time, make it look professional. I was rewatching my old videos a few days back, and I just was viewing how much the camera was shuddering and how my hands were shaking. And I did have a camera that did not have a body stabilized lens, but at the same time, you know what, if you just stick to composition rules, basic rules of photography, and try to get low to the ground, try to get a image that looks professional and smooth at the same time, you really won't upset anybody. From YouTube, Scottman895 Travel asks, have you ever or have you been considering on taking DWD and turning it into a form or business, or considering any kind of job which allows you to travel even more? You know what, Scott? Yes. I don't have really any opportunities in mind right now, but I would love to take this into the future. I do want to have a line of t-shirts at some point. I do want to have some kind of merch. I want to be able to travel more, but at the same time, I also want to have a home base. I want to have an apartment or a home to go home to, or even, kind of move out from my family's home and start my own adventure wherever it may be. From YouTube, Jamie Banks asks, what is a place that you've traveled to that you've really loved the vibe? Well, Jamie, this past year, let's just do this past year, I'm gonna say Portland, Oregon. I really enjoyed the vibe in Portland. I've been wanting to go there for many, many years now, and I spent 3 days there in the beginning, back in March. I don't know if you guys have seen the vlogs. I'll link it right up here somewhere. But you know what, I really liked how open and welcoming and honest everybody was in the city that I met. I love the nature, I love the food, the kind of weird hipster kind of a vibe that you get from Portland. I really enjoyed all of that, and I'd like to come back there at one point again soon. She also asks, can you see yourself living abroad long-term in the future? You know what, I can. I don't know where, I don't know when, but I would love to spend about 6 months somewhere and just living there and enjoying the scenery, just living like a local, maybe learning the language. That kind of goes into the next question, which Natalia Feenstra asks, what is your travel goal in life? My travel goal, I do want to live somewhere for an extended period of time, live there as a local, learn the language, and just see where that takes me. If I fall in love with a place and I meet somebody and I want to live there for the rest of my life, forever, maybe that's a thing. But you know what? We'll see how it goes. I think South America is on my list of places to target, and I would love to spend an extended period of time there. So, you know what? Who knows? The future is what you make it. And the last question we have today is from Instagram, from Link Olin. She asks, "Are you happy?" Well, you know what? Today I am happy. If you had asked me this a couple months ago, I might have had a different answer, but that would have been okay, because life isn't all happiness and rainbows all the time. You know what? We are humans, we experience emotions. Life is cyclical, it goes up and down. Might be happy today, I might be a little bit more sad tomorrow, but that's completely okay. And we really have to be understanding of ourselves and our emotions and be more aware of the changes that are really going around us, our bodies, and our environment. And that is completely okay. So today, I am happy. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are having a good, end of the year, spending time with family. Hope you guys have a happy new year. And I really want to say thank you for watching this Q&A, the first Q&A on my channel. I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers that have come to my channel over the past few months, years. And I look forward to really sharing more of my life, more of my adventures and travels, wherever I may be, whether it's worldwide, whether it's local, in the new year and in the new decade. You know what? On that note, it's time to end. I will see you all in 2020.